Peace, Chem family. It's me, Rasi, your African holistic health nurse for Kemetic Wellness, and I'm back with another video. Welcome to everyone who is new, and welcome to those who are returning. Today, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki, the energy healing system. Now, if you've never seen my face before, my name is Sekhmet. I'm a licensed registered nurse and energy healer, and I'm also the founder of Kemetic Wellness. And it's my personal goal and our goal at Kemetic Wellness to teach our community how to restore ma'at, which is balance, truth, reciprocity, harmony within our culture through our classical African culture. Okay. So we use 4 natural modalities at Kemetic Wellness. We use language, which is the Sekhmet and Neteru, the language of ancient Kemet, energy healing, which we're going to discuss today, Kemetic Reiki, nutrition, and sacred movement. Today, we're going to discuss the origins of RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki, which is an energy healing art form that's based on the ancient healing systems of Kemet and throughout Africa. Okay. This is the first in a series of discussions that I'm going to do on RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki. So if any of this interests you, keep watching. So first, let's talk about what RaSekhi means, okay? In order to discuss what RaSekhi is, I'm first going to break down the meaning of the word RaSekhi. So let's talk about Ra, the first part of the word. Ra is divine, universal light energy, okay? It is the energy that is behind the sun, which powers all of creation. If you think about what the sun does, it powers all of the universe. If the sun never existed, if the sun ceased to exist, everything that exists would also cease to exist. Okay? So that's what Ra means. It's the seen force of the universe that illuminates the entire universe, that illuminates everything in the galaxies, all that we know that exists, okay? Through the sun. It is light energy. It is sun energy. Okay, so that's the meaning of Ra. Then we have Sekhi. Okay, Sekhi. The word Sekhi in the Sekhmet and Neteru means to play. It means to overthrow. It means to beat a drum or to kindle a fire. So the Sekhmet and Neteru is a really beautiful language because many of the words have, one word could be a paragraph, pretty much. They have multiple meanings. So that's what Sekhi means. And Sekhi is very closely related to another word in the Sekhmet and Neteru, which is Sakm. Sakm. The word Sakm, it's symbolized by a scepter, okay? And it means our internal vital energy, okay? Sakm is talked about in many cultures, but we use different words due to different languages. So in Swahili, for example, the word moyo is used to describe your internal vital energy. The word ki is used in Japan. The word chi is used in China. The word prana is used in India. Okay, it's all describing the same thing, the internal vital energy that exists within us, our life force energy. Okay. And Sakm is activated through many different things. It's activated through your spiritual work, such as meditation and prayer, and also through initiation. It's cultivated also through yoga, which is sacred movement. Yoga is a practice that comes out of ancient Kemet. We never use the term yoga, but we did definitely practice sacred movement, which was meant to open up the forces in the body to the universal forces, the Neteru. Okay. It is also activated through positive natural environments, so beaches and mountains and any natural environment that you can think of. It's also activated through food, natural foods, foods with life in them that also enhance our life force. Okay, so natural food and herbs help to activate our Sakm. Our Sakm can also be depleted through negative environments, so hostile environments, and also interactions with negative people, trauma, violence, drugs, and low vibration nutrition. Okay, that would be like your junk food, fast foods, garbage food, basically, food that depletes the body. Okay. Sekhem is also closely related to Sekhmet. Okay. So Sekhmet is one of the divinities in ancient Kemet, and she is also the patron deity of the RaSekhi healing system. Okay. Sekhmet is the divine feminine principle of healing, and she's known as the powerful one. That's what her name actually means. So you can kind of correlate with the name Sekhmet to the word Sakm. Okay, it's talking about power, internal power. She's known as the powerful one. She's known as the great mother. She's known as the Neteru that protects all of the Neteru. Okay, she's known as the Lady of Fire, and she goes by many, many, many other names. Okay, Sekhmet is depicted in the ancient Kemetic drawings as a lion-headed woman. Okay, I'm going to speak more about Sekhmet in future videos, but it's important to note that we don't use the term goddess to describe Sekhmet or any of the divinities coming out of ancient Kemet or African culture. The reason for that is that the term god or goddess has nothing to do with African culture. It doesn't come out of an African mind, okay? The term God comes out of Germanic tribes, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Kemetic spirituality or African spirituality, okay? The term that was used in ancient Kemet is Neter, or Necher. That's the classical pronunciation of the word Necher, okay? The term Necher describes the totality of all existence. Okay, very different than God. The totality of all existence. So everything that we can conceive of and everything that we cannot conceive of is Necher. Okay, it's very similar to the word nature. So that is how we understood spirituality as African people, is through understanding nature, the laws and principles of nature, which is what Necher means. And the many manifestations of Necher are called Neteru. You'll sometimes hear people incorrectly say Neters with an S. No. S gives a word plural in English, but that doesn't work in the middle Neter. It's the U that makes it plural. So if you want to talk about the many manifestations of Neter or Necher, you would say Necheru or Neteru, not Neters. Please don't say that no more. Okay? So the Neteru are divine laws and principles of nature, okay? And this is how the Kemetiyu, which is the Black Africans of Kemet, this is how they understood spirituality, by observing the laws of nature and the principles of nature and the universe, okay? So this is what the Neteru are. They are divine, universal principles and laws of nature, okay? Just want to make that clear. So they personified these principles and these energies using all of the elements of nature, the animal domain, the plant domain, the human domain, the mineral domain, and the spiritual domain. Okay, this is why you will see Sekhmet depicted as a woman, which tells you that she's a feminine energy, but you will also see her depicted with a lion's head. That's speaking to her fierce nature. And remember, a lion is a cat, which also was a feline. So it's also a feminine energy. So it's again speaking to her femininity. It's a fierce feminine energy. Okay. Sekhmet is also a warrior. So they're using the different elements of nature, not just the human form, but also the animal form to speak to the energy of Sekhmet, what this is. Okay. So in RaSekhi, we work with Sekhmet as a protected energy, and we build our Sakm. As we build our Sakm, we also build our relationship with Sekhmet. Okay. So now that we know what RaSekhi means, let's talk about what RaSekhi is exactly. Okay. So RaSekhi is a form of energy medicine. Okay. We utilize universal life force energy to strengthen our life force. This allows us to heal disease in the body and to clear spiritual blockages. It's a natural and holistic practices. It's a natural and holistic practice, mind, body, emotions, and spirit. And it's rooted in the ancient energy healing systems of our ancestors in Kemet and throughout Africa. Okay. So that's what RaSekhi is. It's energy medicine. Throughout the practice of Kemetic Reiki, we learn about what energy is. And it's important because a lot of people don't really know what energy is, how energy works, which is why you see people make certain mistakes that they make in their life and they can't really trace. They don't understand cause and effect. They don't understand how something started off and eventually became this thing or what it is, which also means that they don't know how to undo a lot of the problems in their life. And that's the purpose of RaSekhi, is to understand energy. Okay. Is to understand what energy is, how different types of energy affects our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and how to cleanse ourselves of negative energy that we carry from traumatic experiences, from relationships, and even from ancestral inheritance. So this is why it's very important for us as African people. We have a specific trauma that other groups of people do not have, which means we're going to have to, dip into our ancestral healing practices to learn how to undo those things. Okay. So through RaSekhi, we learn how to manipulate energy for the purpose of healing ourselves and others. That is the whole purpose of RaSekhi. It's a healing system. Okay. So RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki utilizes natural methods of healing to target the root of disease and to bring positive changes to a person's mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Some of the natural practices include food and herbs. I talk a lot about this in my book, High Vibration Nutrition, as well. If you have not received a copy of that book, you can get it on Amazon or at kemeticwellness.com. Okay. Some of the other methods include breath work, meditation, Kemetic symbols that you will see in the middle netter and on the papyri and in the different temples in ancient Kemet. We also utilize prayer and much, much, much more. And I'm going to discuss these methods in a future video on RaSekhi. Okay, so I'll be a little bit more detailed there. All right. So once again, RaSekhi is meant to bring about wholeness in a person. A lot of the things that we've experienced as a culture throughout the diaspora has left us very fragmented, and it's meant to make us whole again. Okay. So some of the benefits include better mental health and clarity, improved emotional regulation. It's giving you the tools on how to deal with your emotions, eradicating physical disease. Because a lot of diseases, as I've said many, many times on this channel, that everything that exists in the physical realm begins in the spiritual realm first. So when you do that spiritual work, you can eliminate things that you're experiencing in your physical body. Okay, so it helps to eradicate physical disease, and it also enhances spiritual health. So you will develop stronger intuition. You're learning how to work with your intuition, how to trust your intuition, how to listen. Okay. Also helps with clearing spiritual blockages, healing ancestral wounds, and much, much more. Okay. So now that we know what RaSekhi is, let's talk about the history and the origins of RaSekhi. So RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki was rebirthed through Reiki Kajarania Nebethet in 2007. She is the founder of the RaSekhi Arts Temple. Okay, and she's also a world-renowned African high priestess and holistic healer. She started her work as a healer at age 16, and that was when she healed herself of a so-called incurable disease. Okay, it was a very painful disease for her, and she was intuitively led to use the laying on of hands. She used the energy from her hands and laid hands on the parts of her body that were in pain. And she prayed over her body. And by the next day, after doing these prayers and after laying her hands over her body, the pain was gone and it never came back. And it wasn't until years later, when she actually was led to Reiki, she became a master teacher in the Tibetan Reiki form, that she realized that's actually what she did on herself. She actually used Reiki on herself intuitively. Okay. So she later on, after becoming a Tibetan Reiki master, she studied under Queen Afua. Now, those of you who have heard that name before, Queen Afua, she's also one of my master teachers. She is a world-renowned best-selling author of the book Sacred Woman, which accompanies the program Sacred Woman. And Sacred Woman is a program that it's basically a rites of passage for Black women. And it's also reintroducing us to our ancient healing practices that help us heal mind, body, and spirit. But we focus a lot on womb healing. Okay. So she studied the Kemetic traditions under Queen Afua. And this is where she was introduced to the Neteru, to the Kemetic system, and also to Sekhmet. And she began doing her work more from an African center perspective by leading Sacred Woman circles at the grassroots level for years. Okay. And it was through doing this work and through studying the Kemetic tradition that she learned that energy medicine was documented throughout ancient Africa, and particularly throughout the pyramids in ancient Kemet. And she was called, through learning this, she was called to teach Reiki using our symbols and using our tools and our techniques and our culture, and to give credit to our ancestors in ancient Kemet, because all of this predated what we know as Reiki from the Asian-centered perspective, okay? And this is how RaSekhi came through. I don't know exactly how she came up with the term RaSekhi, but that is what came through her. And the RaSekhi Arts Temple was born. And if you want to learn more about them, they actually have a channel here on YouTube, and I'll link it somewhere in this video, either in the description or at the top of this video. Okay. You can also visit RaSekhiHealing.com to learn more about the RaSekhi Arts Temple. Okay. So the purpose of RaSekhi, why she created it, was to help those of African descent to heal the effects of colonization and to restore Ma'at on the planet. Okay. So as RaSekhi initiates, as those who practice RaSekhi, whether on just ourselves as level 1 initiates or on others as level 2 and higher initiates, the purpose is we have to begin healing ourselves first, okay? We begin healing our community by healing ourselves first. Queen Afua is the one who actually taught me, as I heal myself, I heal all my relations. As I heal myself, I heal all my relations. So it's through RaSekhi that we learn how to live in Ma'at. Ma'at is the principle of truth, righteousness, balance, harmony, reciprocity, and justice, okay? And order. And this is in all aspects of our lives. So as we begin to live Ma'at, we heal ourselves, we heal our families, we heal our community, and we heal the world. And currently, RaSekhi, the system, has over 2,000 initiates worldwide, and it is growing. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a RaSekhi initiate through me, through Kemetic Wellness, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to share exactly how to do that. Okay. So now let's talk about the difference between RaSekhi, Kemetic Reiki, and other forms of Reiki. Okay. The main difference between RaSekhi and other Reiki systems is that RaSekhi is African centered. That is the main difference, and it is an extremely important difference. I tell you all the time, your healing is in your culture, okay? So it's one of the first African-centered energy healing systems in modern times. And the principles of RaSekhi are based on ancestral African wisdom, okay? And this is wisdom that predates all of the other energy healing systems worldwide. We know that humanity begins in Africa, and humanity in Africa dates back millions of years ago, okay? Millions of years ago, not thousands, millions of years ago. The practices in RaSekhi were already ancient in Africa before the first humans even existed in Asia, South America, North America, and anywhere else. Okay? So most people are familiar with Usui Reiki, and Usui Reiki was created by a Japanese healer named Usui Mikao in the 1920s. And there are other forms of Asian-centered Reiki, Western-centered Reiki as well. And there's even a so-called Egyptian Reiki form, but none of them are African-centered. None of them are African-centered. This is a common thing as African people being the first people on the face of the earth, the mothers and fathers of civilization. We have taught the entire world, and they never really give us our credit. They never really give us our credit, and that's fine. It's up to us to teach our culture to our community. So that is what we're doing, okay? So Reiki is generally considered a healing practice, an alternative healing practice. Modern medicine calls everything that existed in ancient times alternative, although it's the original form of medicine, okay? And it's known to be helpful for treating diseases of the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's commonly believed that Reiki comes out of Japanese culture, but as we've already discussed, it does not, okay? Documentation of these practices in Kemet predate Japanese civilization by thousands of years. It was ancient in Kemet before Japanese civilization even existed, okay? So this is not anything that we are, that's new to us, okay? The term Reiki itself which people believe is Japanese. It's not even a Japanese term. And the term gives away its Kemetic influence. So in the middle netter, there is a word Reiki, which means knowledge. It means wisdom and skillfulness. And the netter Aset, she also carries the term Reiki because it gives reference to her own skill as a divine healer. Aset is known as a healer as well. Okay. She's the one of great magic. The term Ray is referring to Ra, which I already described at the beginning of this video as universal light energy. And it's common from the Asian pronunciation of the word Ra. They pronounce it as Ray. Okay, it's a common mispronunciation of Ra. Okay. Ki is a Japanese word for internal vital energy, as I discussed earlier in the video. So as you can see, there's different traces of the Kemetic influence, even in the word Reiki. Okay. Now, our ancestors did not use the term Reiki in the practice of healing ourselves through laying on of hands, through aura cleansing, through meditation, breath work, sacred movement, crystal therapy. All of this stuff was just a part of our culture. Okay. It wasn't named a particular system. And as it being a part of our culture, these practices were also a part of our lifestyle. Queen Afua calls it African natural lifestyle. This is African natural lifestyle. Okay. And all of this is documented in numerous medical papyri, and it's inscribed in the pyramids. These are things that we have been doing for a very long time. So what's called New Age and alternative is not new to us. It's our original medicine and our culture. And we did not have a concept as African people of separating and fragmenting ourselves. So we didn't have something called spiritual work and mental work where you go to a therapist and a psychologist, and then physical where you go to a doctor. All help was integrated. You're seen as a whole person. So treating the person is done holistically. Okay. African medicine has always been natural and holistic, meaning the sick or diseased individual was always treated as a whole, mind, body, and spirit. And in learning RaSekhi, we are actually allowing our ancestors to teach us, to remind us how to heal ourselves today. And it's the epitome of Sankofa, okay? Going back to fetch what was left behind, the best of our culture, okay? If any of this feels aligned with you and you want to become a RaSekhi practitioner, you can send me an email at kemeticwellness.com/contact. I have a few different options for you to take classes if you're interested. So the first one is if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, I am teaching the RaSekhi certification course this October. So send me a message as soon as possible. Okay. I will be teaching level 1 and level 2 in the Columbus, Ohio area. So send me a message at kemeticwellness.com/contact. Those messages there go directly to my email. I will receive it and I will respond to you. Okay. If you're not able to take the course in person, I have 2 online options available. Okay. Option number 1 is the virtual RaSekhi certification course. It's an 11-week course, and level 1 will begin in December of 2024. Okay. Level 2 will begin in January. The second option that I have for you If you are not able to take a course with me in person, and maybe the time schedule is off because we live in different time zones, and you're not able to take an online live course with me, you can actually take the self-guided course. Level 1 is currently available right now on kemeticwellness.com/programs right now. Okay, so it's perfect for anybody who has an unpredictable schedule. You live across the globe, you know that you can't make it to a live online class, or you can't make it in person. You can take the self-guided RaSekhi Kemetic Reiki Level 1 course right now on kemeticwellness.com/programs. Okay, this is also for anyone who knows that you can't take a live class, online class, without missing classes, because it's 11 weeks. So please do not join and then get in there and tell me, oh, I'm going to miss 4 or 5 classes. No, you can't miss 4 or 5 classes. There's not that type of thing. You have to go through every single one. Okay, so if you know you're not going to be able to make it, the best one for you would probably be the self-guided course. Once again, that's available at kemeticwellness.com/programs. And if you're interested in taking any of the live courses, whether online or in person with me in Columbus, Ohio, you can send me a message at kemeticwellness.com/contact. Okay, I hope this video was helpful to you all, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.